Welcome back to Tunnel Vision Talk. It's another week, another Monday. That is 4 straight, boys. Throw up those W's because we're
Hit the
throwing a
fours.
banger at you. We are finishing out our season predictions today, so it might be a little bit of a long podcast. So buckle up and get ready for a good one. We got our top 5 segment coming back today, and we have our we still don't have a name for the segment, but I name it, you rank it. I think we just found a name for it right here. Name it and rank it.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah, so we'll do some more thinking, but without further ado, we're gonna go ahead and hop into our top 5, which we warned you last week, but it's our least favorite teams this week. So it was great having you guys listen while you were here. So if you were leaving us, it's been real. So at my number 5 least favorite team in the league, it's gonna have to be the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah.
Can't stand them. Way too hyped up. Okay, don't get me wrong. I like Mahomes. That's probably like the only person I like on the team. Don't like Tyrann Mathieu. Talks way too much smack just to get clapped. He's short. Like he made that one good hit in the AFC Championship against Corey Davis.
Yeah.
And like that clip got replayed like for a month after. Actually the most annoying thing in the world. They knocked us out of the AFC Championship. So that is annoying on its own. It just like they made it to the Super Bowl back-to-back years. They've been in it for so long now. It's just annoying.
Yeah.
So that's really why I don't like them.
Number 5 for me is also the Chiefs. Pretty much for the same reasons. I mean, if you're good, you're gonna have haters. I also, like you said, I don't like Tyrann Mathieu. Not a fan of Chris Jones. I mean, as a player, whatever, but I don't like it. Everyone on the Chiefs just talks too much trash and is too much of a show off when it comes to they make a play and they, like you said, it gets overplayed and it gets they just get too excited and everything. It's just really annoying. And like you said, I mean, they've been in the Super Bowl, they've been in the playoffs, ever since Patrick Mahomes got there. I don't hate Patrick Mahomes. I mean, I don't love him. He's not one of my favorite guys, but I mean, I have no reason to hate him. He's doing good, whatever. But yeah, no, they're just like you said, they keep knocking us out. They've been kind of like our biggest competitor in the AFC since we haven't really played the Bills like in games that mean much. They're that big competitor. So yeah, they're gonna be on the list for me.
At number 4 for me, I got the Pittsburgh Steelers. I honestly didn't have much of a problem with them until this year. I mean, I didn't like them, but then like Juju and Claypool doing all their TikTok nonsense made me absolutely despise them. Von Bell became my favorite player briefly when he knocked him in that game. I mean, that made me so happy to watch, to hear the sound that made when he popped them. It was just amazing. Big Ben, don't like him as a person. Their defense, I don't mind their defense.
Yeah,
TJ,
no,
it's just he's annoyingly good.
Right. Like I say, like when you're gonna have haters.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, no. Number 4 for me is also the Steelers. It's kind of repetitive, but for the same reasons. I don't like Big Ben, player or. I mean, good for him. He's toughing it out. He gets hurt every year. He's coming back. Don't know why, but yeah, I don't like him off the field. I mean, I don't really like. I mean, I like Devin Bush a lot. I like Mika Fitzpatrick, but that's about it. Don't really care for T.J. Watt. Not that I hate him, but yeah, I don't know. I don't like none of the receivers. I kind of like Deontay Johnson, just because he's kind of like in the shadows. But yeah, no, they're just kind of up there with the teams that are just really annoying.
Yeah, I mean, Deontay Johnson has butterfingers, so I mean, I'm just saying facts over here, so you can't hate me. 3, if you want to go ahead with your number 3.
Yeah, number 3 is Jacksonville. The Jaguars. again, they're in their division, so they kind of automatically get put up there with the teams that I hate. I hate everyone in our division, but they kind of are up here. So I really like Trevor Lawrence. I feel like they'll be good in the next, I feel like 2-3 years, but it doesn't change the fact that I don't like them. And the better they get, the more it's going to be, the more my hatred will grow. But I just, no, they just kind of are in the top 3 by default. But yeah, I just really like them.
Yeah, for me, my number 3 is Dallas Cowboys. If you're a new listener or haven't listened for a really long time, I grew up in Texas, lived just north of Dallas, so I was surrounded by Cowboys fans. Some of the most annoying people that I've met were Cowboys fans, and they try to rub how good they are in your face. Like, how many playoff wins do you have in the last 10 years? Dez dropped the ball. Number 1, he dropped it. I don't care. Like, the rule, like, based off the rule at that time, he dropped it. Sure, he caught it based on today's rules, but back then he dropped it. Zeke, not good anymore.
Well, I wouldn't say not good, but he's not as good as he was.
Yeah, he's fumbles a lot. Nothing without Dak. Nothing without a good receiving core. Like,
Dak holds the team together. They're just nothing without Dak.
No defense. Like, even when they did have a good defense, they couldn't do anything with it. Just having to be surrounded by it. And plus, my second favorite team is Washington, so that also contributes to my disliking.
Yeah, I don't like the Cowboys, but I didn't have enough to put them in my top 5. Just because, I know their fans are annoying. Haven't met one. Can't, whatever.
You want to keep it that way.
Right. Like, now, if you want to go ahead with your number 2.
My number 2, Indianapolis Colts. Close to being number 1. Honestly, the only reason that they're not number 1 is because I got a cousin. He's not related to you, but he's a Colts fan. He's probably one of the nicest people I know. That's, like, honestly the only reason they're not in the top spot. Don't like the Colts. Andrew Luck was always just so annoying to play. Rivers, a trash talker. Carson Wentz, I hope he does horrible. T.Y. Hilton, don't like him.
Washed.
DeForest Buckner now, don't like him. Like, Darius Leonard, don't like him. It's just like they get, like, the most weird players, and they somehow play, like, so good. Okay, the only exception is Quentin Nelson, just because, like, he's so good, and, like, he's friends with Taylor Lewan, so that means he's friends with me.
No, yeah, like, they somehow find the most mediocre roster and make them, like, high playoff contenders.
Yeah,
I seriously don't know how to do
it. Good job, Frank Reich.
Right, and he's a mastermind. I give that to them, but it's just like, no. My number 2 goes to the Ravens. Baltimore. They have been the top of my hatred for a long time. For since I've been a Titans fan. It's just got worse and worse ever since, right? So, I mean, they're just always so annoyingly good. And then when they're not good, their fans make them, just like Cowboys fans, just make them so unbelievably good. And it's like, dude, I mean, we hooping, just to point one out. I know you've all heard of we hooping. The most annoying guy on all of social media. Like, can't stand him. No one can stand him. He doesn't have legit fans. All of his fans are just feeding him, views because they all just want to be featured in his stuff, but it's just really annoying. But yeah, I'm going to go into my number 1. The Indianapolis Colts, like you said, in our division, really don't like him. My friend's a Colts fan, and he likes to talk to me about, and like you said, I mean, that they're better, that they're this and this and this. It's like, dude, you're not better than the Titans. First of all, the Titans are winning the division this year, and that's all I have to say, right? Like, I just cannot express how much I do not like the Colts. Andrew Luck, like you said, the most annoying guy to play against. He always, did he lose a game versus us? Or like the one game he lost against us was like the last season he played. I think it was like at home. It's just like so annoying in our division. So they're up there by default. The only reason the Texans weren't on my list is because they're not good anymore. I almost feel bad for them at this point. But yeah, Colts number one always will be.
Yeah, for me, I got the Ravens number one. Just the disrespect that them and their fans give. I mean, I remember in 2019, oh my gosh, we beat the Patriots, and then because we're the lowest seed, we were going on to face the Ravens. Ravens fans just swarmed the Titans comment section saying, "You're losing to the Ravens. You're losing to the Ravens." And then
guess what, bud?
Yeah, and then I got into an argument in the comment section with one of the guys. I'm like, all right, I'll come back to this comment when the Titans win. Come back next week, just trolled him so hard. And then I think he deleted the comment.
Oh, really?
But then, like, this year, like, yeah, we did our own thing on their logo, and then they did their thing on ours. It's just like they won like 20-13. It wasn't a good win. Like, we were shutting down Lamar for the most part. He had like a couple good runs because you couldn't throw the ball, and then they still want to make it out to be like,
at the end.
Yeah, never throw to the cleave. Never throw to like when you have AJ Brown on the field. It's just why would you not throw to him in a fourth down?
And no, and it's not even that. Like, I get it. Like, it's not like a never type thing. But he was wide open, and you tried to force something. Yeah, like Tannehill just tensed up in that situation. It was like, get the ball in my hands, and he was wide open. I mean, that would have been a touchdown.
I think he just went first read.
Yeah, no, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, first read was Khalif, and he was like, all right, he just didn't even try.
For real. So. Yeah, and then also we hooping, like, so annoying.
Grows the hatred album. Yeah, and I have some people that I follow on TikTok, the Next Network. No free shout outs, but shout out. They're Ravens fans, but they're really nice about it, and they're like, every time we hoop and does something that no one likes, they're like, we don't accept this man into our Ravens fandom. Like, he's not accepted.
All right. So that completes our top 5 for this episode. If you want this to return, who knows? We'll probably do favorite players, something like that, coming up soon. We'll find something to do. And now into the name 'em and rank 'em segment of the podcast. I'm naming them, Talon's ranking them. And here we go. I told you before the podcast I had a little bit of a little surprise for you on this one. And the surprise is these players are all rookies. So, quarterback, Trevor Lawrence.
Okay, just saying, none of these guys are, well, I do know what you're good. Okay. Before the podcast, he told me one of the wide receivers is going to be stepped out for a tight end. I was going to say none of them are going to be top 10. One's going to be top 10. Trevor Lawrence, top 20. I haven't seen enough, obviously, I could put him above a lot of quarterbacks.
Yeah.
I could see top 25. I could see top 30. I'd put him top 20. I think he's better than a lot of quarterbacks he will be.
Yeah.
But, no, I haven't seen enough. You would do me like this with rookies, man.
I had to throw you a curveball. I couldn't just.
I mean, okay, none are going to be top 10. Except for one.
The thing is, I was thinking of players, and then I thought of one, and I just started spiraling from that point. So, next player, Najee Harris.
Let's do I'll give him top 30. Just because I do feel like I actually think Najee has a lot of potential. Going to the Steelers, I actually think they don't have the greatest receivers, so I feel like and with Big Ben being very injury prone, I feel like he'll be prone to dump down or to just run the ball. I feel like he'll get a lot of action this year. I'll give him top 25. I think he's better than a lot of running backs. Just like the flashy playmaker type guy that he is. I feel like he has a lot of potential. I'll give him top 25. I don't think he's any better. Obviously, he hasn't shown me anything other than what I've seen in college.
Yeah.
But yeah, I say top 25. I feel like he could be like top 15 by the end of the season. I wouldn't say top 10, but yeah.
Next guy, Travis Etienne.
Top 40.
So you would go Harris over Etienne?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Good, because me too.
Yeah, no, yeah. I think Etienne, not that he's not good, but he's also gonna be behind James Robinson. Only thing he's gonna get is dump offs and he's gonna be more passing game than he is in running. So yeah, I'd give him top 40. Not that he won't rise, but I wouldn't put him any higher than top 30 by the end of the season. I don't think. I think he's gonna be okay. But to succeed, I feel like he's gonna have to get a starting job. So.
All right, next player, Ja'Marr Chase.
See, okay, this one is interesting because I actually really like Ja'Marr.
The only problem is there's so many good receivers in the league.
Yeah, it's hard to rank receivers anyway.
Backs.
Right. Man, I'll give him top 25. But I wouldn't when I say top, I'd give him like 21 or 22 around there. And obviously it would come with ranking receivers.
Yeah.
But I could see the argument for it for top 20. But not anywhere near like I top 20 as in like 19 or 20 at like very best. I don't know. Yeah, it is tough. Like I'd have to have a list of receivers in front of me to actually obviously rank them. But off the top of my head, no, like top 25 would be solid. I like him. I feel like he's gonna be the best. Him or Jalen Waddle, I feel like will be the best in the NFL.
Yeah.
But yeah, Ja'Marr has a lot of
hot take. I could see Devontae Smith being a bust.
Yeah, 100%.
Size. Went to the Eagles.
Not even just size. Yeah, going to the Eagles himself. His first couple years are going to be atrocious. I mean, even if he's playing good, he's not going to have production. So.
Yeah. All right, last player. You probably know who it is already, but Kyle Pitts.
Yeah, top 10. Easy for me to say. I feel like when you come to terms with how many, if you say elite tight ends, right?
Yeah.
There's 3 elite tight ends in the league. Kelsey, Waller, and Kittle. Those are the 3 elite, in my opinion. Then you get to the list of Andrews, Hawkinson. I mean, I don't feel like there's any other people that are proven to me to be up there with him.
Yeah.
If I'm going to put Jonnu Smith top 10, I'm going to put Kyle Pitts top 10.
Yeah.
So Kyle Pitts to me can prove like top 5 by the end of the season. 100%. With Julio being gone and it's just going to be him and Calvin Ridley, he's going to have a lot of production there. So yeah. And they don't really have a running back one. It's going to be like Mike Davis. So no, yeah, I could 100%. He's going into a really good situation. As long as they can fill the quarterback need in the next couple of years, Matt Ryan will be solid. But yeah, top 10 for sure.
All right, that was it for our Name 'em, Rank 'em segments for this episode. Now on into the main part of this episode, finishing up our season predictions. This will be the AFC East and West along with the NFC East and West. So we're going to kind of speed through these a little, especially the teams that didn't make playoffs and aren't going to do good in our opinions this year. We're going to try and go a little faster through. So starting off in the AFC East, we get the New York Jets at 4-13. We do have high hopes for the team in the future, but this year, still a building year. Zach Wilson, Corey Davis. I mean, basically a whole new offense. Wins against New England, Houston, Philadelphia, and Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, a couple could have gone either way. Like games with, I guess Denver could go either way. There's a couple upsets Jets will probably pull off like they did last year.
Yeah.
But for the most part, don't think they will be ending up too hot this season just because of how they're rebuilding.
Yeah, no, I don't see them. I mean, I feel like Zach Wilson's a great place to start with them, but like you said, nothing this year. They're going to need a lot more.
Now, next up is the Miami Dolphins, third place in the division. I know Miami, you do have a good team. It just, for us, we're not Tua fans at all.
No, yeah.
Like the report came out about him throwing the interceptions in practice. I know you have a good defense, but he's not playing your first team defense. He's playing scout team.
Mm-hmm.
Scout team.
Yeah, no, it's embarrassing.
My guy's going up against undrafted free agents.
Yeah, and some of them are probably coaches.
Yeah. All right, we have you going 7-10. Really feeding off of bottom feeders. A couple of key wins you have though are against the Baltimore Ravens, actually. Even though Baltimore normally kills you guys. Got you guys a win against the New York Giants, who we'll get to when we talk about the NFC East. But 2-8 against winning teams. Got a pretty tough strength of schedule at .512. Dropping division games, though, you're getting swept by New England and by Buffalo. So while you are sweeping the Jets, that's all you have.
Right. They are kind of in that bad or like decent, I guess I would say, division situation. But yeah, no, I don't think like they had a good draft, good free agency. That is Tua's bringing them down.
All right, next up, we got the New England Patriots at 9-8. This one was pretty tough just because of the quarterback play that is gonna happen throughout the season.
Yeah.
A couple of key games, losing to Tom Brady when he comes back to New England, losing against the Houston Texans for Houston's only win of the season, losing to the Jets once, losing to splitting with Buffalo, actually. So 5-4 against a winning record teams and 4-4 against losing records. Getting swept by Miami is what ultimately cost you. Because conference record is honestly really good at 8-4. It was NFC teams. You got swept by the NFC South, so it's not good. And that's about what I think we can expect from them with Mac Jones and Cam Newton at quarterback. The receiving core still isn't the greatest. They do have two really good tight ends. Running backs are still okay. O-line is amazing. Defense is still solid.
Yeah.
But again, quarterback play going to bring the team down, just like with Tua.
Yeah, and I really just don't like. Yeah, I don't like Cam Newton. Didn't feel like they improved their receivers enough. Don't really know what they were going for in free agency, but sure. Like no, we've talked about it before, so I won't go into that. But I don't know what they're going for. Defense, like you said, is good. We got a couple guys back from opt-outs, but other than that, I really don't see them doing much. I mean, you can't go 500 with the rule change. Or the schedule would ever change, but they're not going much over 500.
Yeah. All right, on to the Buffalo Bills winning the division again at 14-3, going 9-3 in the conference with losses against the Kansas City Chiefs, the New England Patriots, and the Indianapolis Colts. Overall, pretty weak schedule. I mean, tough teams and Washington's defense, Kansas City, Indianapolis, Tennessee, but lots of Jets, Dolphins, Patriots, Pittsburgh, not great, Atlanta. So going into the playoffs, we have the Bills winning the wild card round, or no, they have a bye. They're number 1 seed in the AFC, winning against Baltimore in the divisional round, and then losing to Tennessee in the conference championship.
Yeah.
Don't come at us. You know what was coming. So we think the Bills are poised for another great year. Didn't really lose anyone. Got a couple of defensive pieces. They were able to retain pieces as well, so that was a good thing for them. The addition of edge rushers in the draft like Carlos Basham, Gregory Rousseau, an experimental type player, but if it works out, they're going to look like some really smart people up there in Buffalo. So
I expect a lot. Like I said, Buffalo, I feel like, is the other team that's up there with the Chiefs for the Titans top contenders. So
now next up, we got the NFC East. Philadelphia Eagles coming in last place, 2-15. It's ugly. We have you going on a 2-game win streak in the middle of the season against Las Vegas and Detroit for your only 2 wins. It's a pretty tough schedule. You do have to play a tough division with Dallas, New York, and Washington. But it's still just, I don't like the offense and I don't like the defense. Makes her a bad team. The positive part of this situation for the Philadelphia Eagles is a high draft pick, which I think they desperately need right now. You got Devontae Smith. We just said that we don't think he's going to really amount to being much of anything in the league. So it's really just tough to judge.
Yeah. Now, do I think Devontae Smith will help them? Yes. But in terms of needing a I guess you could quote star player, like star talent, they got that, right? But quarterback play is going to kill them. I saw people say, like, if the Eagles could go back and change the decision, 100% they would.
Yeah.
About sticking with Jalen Hurts is what I mean.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I really don't think they made the right decision. I think Jalen Hurts could do it, but he's just not in a good boat with Philly. Seeing how when it's turned out, they had a good O-line and he still kept getting hurt. Like, come on, dude.
Yeah. So next up, we have the New York Giants coming in third place at 9-8. So a winning record. We're not Daniel Jones fans, so that doesn't really help. Because even with a good team around him, I just don't think he's able to win meaningful games. Like 3-game stretch here against the Rams, the Panthers, and the Chiefs, all losses. You split with Washington and Dallas, sweep Philadelphia. We're lucky to have Philadelphia in your division.
Yeah.
That's really in terms of key games. Not making the playoffs. Actually, the number 9 seed, just behind Dallas in 8th, and the Panthers in 7. Would have need to have beat Carolina to get that 7 spot in the playoffs. But not Daniel Jones fans, as you said. Defense does look pretty nice for New York, but when your offense can't put up points, that's ultimately going to be your downfall. So, and plus Kenny Golladay and Saquon Barkley both have injury issues. Evan Ingram, not the best at tight end. Offensive line isn't really a strong suit either. So offense isn't as good as everyone thinks it is, in my opinion. So I'll let you give your opinion about that.
I don't really. I mean, I feel like it's going to be another mediocre season. I don't see them getting much better, like anytime soon. They're kind of always been that way ever since I've been a football fan. So I really have I don't know. There's just no high hopes for them at this point. Until I see them do something crazy, as in sign some great crazy players. Have a crazy draft and have a crazy free agency. I don't really see much happening.
Yeah. Now on to the Dallas Cowboys at 9-7-1. I covered the tie in the first edition of the season predictions. It's with Minnesota. We both feel like they're pretty evenly matched teams in terms of offense. So we figured we'd throw one tie in there, and that just ended up being the one tie. It ended up being their downfall as well, because they did beat the Panthers. So if they won that game against Minnesota, they would have been in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for them, they went on a streak of going 1-4 in 5 weeks against Kansas City, New Orleans, and Washington. And the Giants, they lose games, only beating Las Vegas in that stretch. Pretty tough schedule. Got the NFC South, and they have to play Kansas City and Tampa Bay. It's just going to be just a really tough season for them. Can the defense play good defense? Because it didn't look like they had a defense last year. Their offense all needs to stay healthy. Dak proved to be the reason that team was good, and proved that he was better than Carson Wentz. So,
yeah,
I mean, not making the playoffs, that's really all you can say about Dallas this year.
I don't think it's impossible for them to make the playoffs. I like Dak more than a lot of other people do. I just feel like if Dak isn't in Dallas, if Dak never goes to Dallas and he's on another decent team, he would be a fan favorite, in my opinion. He would be up there, and I feel like he'd be a top quarterback, if I'm being honest. He fell into the wrong boat when it comes to who he got drafted by. I mean, you can't really control that. So it's not his fault, but I just think I don't think it's far-fetched for them to make playoffs with how not as good that the NFC is as the AFC. I don't know the word for it, but AFC is much more stacked. So they can make playoffs. I don't think they will. Looking at their schedule though, when we were making it, it was like I said, it was really tough. So kind of fell, short of that. So.
Oh man, I just saw this clip of this guy from the home run derby. He tried catching a ball and fell over a rail.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure he's fine, but he didn't even catch the ball.
Oh, Riv.
Yeah.
I did that at the Titans game one time because we sit on the tunnel. If you guys don't know, I sit on the tunnel with my season tickets, and there was a guy, they were shooting out t-shirt cannons, and there was a guy that reached over the tunnel one game. It was the Patriots game, 2018.
Oh, yeah.
Reached over the tunnel to grab a shirt, snapped right through it, fell 20 feet down to the concrete floor, passed out. Ambulance had to come through the tunnel. Game was still going. Ambulance had to come through the back of the tunnel and almost onto the field to pick up the guy. It was bad. He was at the very, very top of the tunnel too. It was the farthest drop possible, and he dropped right to it. Ever since then, the tunnel was literally the cover of it, the Nissan cover was just held on by zip ties. He just snapped right to it. So Yeah, it was almost really bad. Like he was like standing on the rail and they shot one up at him through the cannon and it like leaned over and just, top heavied out and just fell. But
all right,
yeah.
so back into the predictions. Quick little side stories there. We got the first place Washington football team going 12-5. We really like the defense and the improvements that they made on offense. Losing to Buffalo, Kansas City, Dallas, New York, and Tampa Bay in the regular season. Then in the postseason, we have them beating San Francisco in a wild card game, but then ultimately losing to Tampa Bay in the divisional round. We think they're good. We think they're a quarterback away, really.
Yeah.
Because Fitzpatrick and Heinicke aren't really the answer. Fitzpatrick can play some good football, but he's still not an amazing quarterback. So
right.
That's about
all
I can do with that.
Yeah, I like Washington a lot. I just don't think they, like you said, they don't have a star quarterback, and that's really bringing them down. With the great defense they have, and this year, and they have a nice offense, good offensive line, good receivers, good running back. They just need a quarterback, and they're fine. Honestly, a good draft pick this year would help a lot if they can trade for that. I don't see them having a bad enough record to have a top draft pick, but they would really need to trade for one. Don't know what they would give, but they could definitely give us some pieces on defense just to get a good quarterback. Quarterbacks are going to be very slim this year, but I feel like a young quarterback you can bring up will be a lot better than what they have now. So,
yeah, definitely. Now on to the AFC West. Denver Broncos 5-12. Good defense, offense. Once again brought down by quarterback play. Teddy Bridgewater, Andrew Luck. That's just a recipe for disaster. Games we have you guys winning: Philadelphia, Detroit, Las Vegas, Jacksonville, and the Jets. So all bottom feeder teams. 0-10 against winning teams.
mm-hmm.
So I guess just tough schedule for you guys, but again, another team that's just a quarterback away. If they get Aaron Rodgers, then that record flips.
That record changed tremendously.
Yeah. But unfortunately for you guys, until then, you're stuck at 5-12 and being bad. On to the Las Vegas Raiders, 6-11. Pretty tough schedule. Got you guys beating Miami, Pittsburgh, Denver only once. The Giants, the Chiefs once, because they always pull off one game against the Chiefs. It's somehow always in Kansas City. I don't know how they do it, but they do it. And beating the Chargers to ultimately, I'll get to that when we get there, but it's a really tough schedule for them. And with a not great offense and a not great defense, that's what kind of record you're going to get. A not great record. So
Side note: Trevor Story just hit a 518-foot homer.
Yeah, I saw that. He beat Gallo.
Yeah, I know he'd beat Gallo. Trevor Story's winning it, but I don't have much to say about the Raiders. If Derek Carr can get a good receiver, I feel like they'd be fine. They just don't have a good receiver. Haven't had one in a while. So.
All right, on to the Chargers. Unfortunately, 9-8, missing playoffs. Tough season because with Herbert, I do feel like they can make playoffs. Another one of those kind of Dallas teams. They're like right on the edge of either making it or not. A couple of games that could have gone back and forth. Just for me, not enough to push them over the edge into being a playoff team. Just quite yet. I think one more offseason. They need a little bit more weapons, in my opinion, for Herbert to throw to. I mean, Allen getting older, Mike Williams, not a huge fan. Lost Hunter Henry.
Yeah. Running back play isn't the greatest either. Nothing elite. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I think I
Another
like.
game that if it goes their way against the Cincinnati Bengals, if they win that game, they're in the playoffs.
Mhm.
But unfortunately, lost the game, not in the playoffs.
Mhm.
So getting swept by Kansas City shouldn't be too much of a surprise. I do think again they could take one of them, but got you beating the Browns, Minnesota. Um, that's honestly it in terms of notable teams. Pretty weak schedule, so potential for a really good season. A
Yeah.
very good season, honestly. Playing a lot of bottom feeders like Philadelphia, Las Vegas twice, Denver twice.
Yeah.
So
I I like the Chargers. But like you said, no, I give them another off season, and I feel like they could be good or
yeah,
really good. It's like they are good. Defense is good,
yeah,
very. But yeah. I Herbert can get it done. He just needs another like top tier receiver. Really doesn't have to be top tier actually. As
yeah.
long as Keenan Allen's still there, you just got to have another decent guy that can perform, and I think they'll be fine and have contention. Not to win the division as long as Mahomes is still there, but
Yeah.
I feel like they'll make playoffs wild card.
All right, now on to the, of course, division winner, Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah.
Um, Pretty tough schedule, honestly, but just too high-powered of an offense. We do have them losing the first two games of the season at home against Cleveland. I think that would be a pretty big statement win for the Browns, and then losing on the road against Baltimore. Um, that's just I feel like Kansas City normally gets off to a fast start. So this season mixed it up. They're off to a slow start to start,
Yeah.
but then winning their next four until losing to Tennessee and then losing to Las Vegas, like we said before, making the playoffs as a 3 seed, beating Indianapolis in the wild card and losing to Tennessee on the road in the divisional round. Just the atmosphere in Tennessee. We talked about this a little bit last time, but the atmosphere in Tennessee for a playoff game that's not just a wild card is just going to be absolutely absurd.
100%.
So,
Just side note, when I was there last time, 2019, um, regular season game against the Chiefs, loudest. No, I'm not second loudest game I've ever been to. Like in terms of just one, just how loud the fans really were, and two, just how electric. Like everyone was like standing, everyone.
yeah,
So it's just like if you have a game, a playoff game, really for me in general, there with fans is just going to be insane.
yeah.
Like with full capacity, it's going to be unreal. So
Mm.
yeah, no, Titans. I feel like pull that off with home field day. Chiefs fans, I give it to them. They travel really well.
Yeah.
So there was half the stadium full of Chiefs fans at that regular season game. Still one of the loudest games I've ever been to. So
Yeah. So on to the last division of our season record prediction series, the NFC West. All teams
mm-hmm.
in this division had a winning record. 3 playoff teams.
Yeah,
Honestly, wouldn't
easily
be
the toughest
surprised.
division.
I would not be surprised if all 4 teams made the
Oh yeah, oh
playoffs.
yeah.
But unfortunately, in last place, we have Seattle. Don't like the defense at all. Offensive line didn't really improve.
Yeah.
Corners took a hit, lost Shaquille Griffin. Not a Jamal Adams fan personally. So it's pretty tough schedule. I mean, your opening schedules: Indianapolis, Tennessee, Minnesota, San Francisco, and Los Angeles Rams. Then you get a little break in the schedule before having to play Arizona, Washington, San Francisco. A break type of game against Houston, but then Los Angeles, Chicago, who we have you losing to, and
Mm-hmm.
then close you off the season pretty easily. But 5-5 against winning record teams, 0.52 strength of schedule, which I think is probably one of the toughest strength of schedules any team has this year. have you missing the playoffs by a game to Carolina. The conference record at 6-6 really does not help you at all.
Mm-mm.
So just they're at the point where they're going to have to start from scratch pretty soon. Russ,
yeah, I feel like once Russ leaves,
yeah,
it's gonna be all downhill from there.
yeah, 100%. Because like it feels like he's close to leaving now, but then reports come out that like
I don't
he's
know.
not
Yeah,
leaving. So
yeah,
don't really know what's happening with that situation. We will keep you updated if anything does happen, though. So they are the one non-playoff team. Now on to the San Francisco 49ers, who at 11-6 lose 5 of their 6 games against divisional opponents, getting
yeah,
swept by Arizona and LA and splitting with Seattle. Big fan of the defense and the offense, honestly, with Deebo Samuel, Kittle, Ayuk. Pretty good running back core still. I like Trey Lance. I think he can step up, make some plays for them, and win games.
yeah.
With that being said, weak strength of schedule.
Mhm.
0.47 compared to Seattle's 0.52.
Yeah,
Like Detroit, Philly, Green Bay, Chicago, Houston, Atlanta.
yeah. Like easily, you don't have less than 7 wins
Yeah.
unless something terrible happens that your whole team gets hurt.
Yeah. So we do have you making the playoffs as a 6 seed, playing Washington first round and losing. Um, don't think this team's ready for another deep playoff run yet, but I
Mm-mm.
do think they're almost there. Defense is definitely there. I just think Trey Lance won't be ready for that type of situation just yet. So I think they'll be a first round exit team.
Yeah,
Now on to the Arizona Cardinals in second place in the division, also at 11-6, but with a 3-3 divisional record. They sweep San Francisco, but get swept by the Seattle Seahawks, splitting with the LA Rams. Once again, really, really tough schedule. This one even tougher than Seattle at 0.53. This one honestly might be the best. No, Pittsburgh has the toughest at 0.55.
yeah. I think I saw
Arizona,
that. Right
I
there in the
think,
description.
might be second, unless it's another AFC North team, which would not surprise me. So Arizona at 11-6. I think they're due. Their defense is pretty good. It's
Yeah,
not great, but it's definitely not bad.
it's
Offense is going to
doable.
be really good. Drafting Rondale Moore, who a lot of people thought was a first round talent, they got him in the second round. Still have D Hop, Kyler's there. Pretty good running backs. Got James Conner and who else? I'm blanking. Is he it?
Who? Running backs?
Yeah,
James Conner, Chase Edmonds.
Chase Edmonds. Yeah. So their offense is definitely there. Their O line is pretty solid, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then getting into the playoffs as a 5 seed, beating Minnesota in the wild card round, but then getting beat by LA in the divisional round. Get to LA in a second, but definitely a good year for them. I
Yeah,
think they're just going to keep climbing. Next year, I would be on the lookout for Arizona to be making some defensive acquisitions to help them make a Super Bowl run in the 2022-2023 season.
yeah,
Crazy saying 2023, but it's really not that far away.
yeah. And don't be surprised, honestly, like to see them have a mid-season pickup to me of another wide receiver.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I feel like they still don't have enough with the uncertainty of Larry Fitzgerald. with it just being really D-Hop, like you said. They drafted Rondale Moore and they have Christian Kirk still, right?
Yeah.
I mean, but those are two, like, to me, bottom tier guys. Rondale Moore hasn't proven anything. And then you have Christian Kirk, who really is just known for his speed. So if they could pick up another bigger wide receiver, which I definitely see them doing, I wouldn't be surprised if they have a long playoff run this year. With them having such a tough schedule and still going 11-6, in our opinion, that could be good for them. I like the Cardinals a lot, so
definitely. Now on to the division-winning LA Rams. Just with Matt Stafford, a good defense and a good offense, we just think good things are to come. We have you starting the season 8-0 until losing to the Titans for your first loss, but then winning a lot more after that. Other losses are to Arizona and Baltimore, both on the road. Pretty tough schedule. 5-2, just like Seattle. Games against Indianapolis, Tampa Bay, 2 against Arizona, 2 against Seattle, 2 against San Francisco. Just toughest division in the NFL right now. You do have your cupcake wins against Detroit and Houston. So at least you'll win 2 games, certainly.
Right.
But this is definitely going to be a really good playoff team. I think if they don't make it to the conference championship, it's just unbelievable. I mean, they made it to the divisional with Goff last year.
I was going to say they had a good run without Stafford. Stafford's tremendously better, in my opinion.
Yeah,
they really didn't lose much. Offense pretty much stayed the same. So aside from getting Stafford, so that could be, like you said, if they don't make it to the conference championship, I'd even go as far as Super Bowl. I'd be surprised.
So in the playoffs, we have the Rams on a first-round bye, being the 1 seed, beating Arizona in the divisional round, and then losing to Tampa Bay in the conference championship. Could honestly go LA's way, but we have to go with the team that has more playoff experience. Brady at the helm. For the most part, we're sure about that. Old man now, might need a cane by the end of the season.
The homeboy's 80 years old, man.
Yeah, feels like it. And with that being said, the season predictions have been complete. With the Tennessee Titans being our Super Bowl winners. It's definitely not going to happen exactly like this. If it does, I'm going to get a lottery ticket as soon as I'm legal.
100%. No, I don't even care if it's legal, man.
It won't matter at that point. But with our season, and you already know our playoff predictions, our draft order is as follows. It is the Lions first, Texans, then Eagles, then Jets, then Falcons, Steelers at 6, Broncos at 7, Packers at Rams.
There you are.
To go to the Lions, Bucks, and then the Tennessee Titans.
All right, you froze throughout the middle of that. Like I didn't hear anything past Steelers.
Well, that's just tough. Steelers, okay, they're all the way at 6. I'm not repeating that. Draft order, not that important. So with that being said, hope you enjoyed our season predictions. We're going to come back at you with some more of the stuff you guys have liked, some more redrafts coming up, couple more. I don't know, we're just going to throw some more stuff at you. Hope you guys like the new stuff we're going to come out with.
Yeah.
It's more just stuff that we have fun making and talking about. This one was kind of just boring, so because it's not fun just saying, okay, this team won this game and lost this one.
Right. So that's why, and obviously you guys don't like it either. That's why we kind of just put it into one.
So With that being said, that is going to be the end of the episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hit the like button down below if you liked the video. Subscribe if you are new. And with that being said, peace out.
Peace.